Welcome to the Money Manifestation Mastery podcast with your host, Lara Waldman, where we talk all things money. Big money, big purpose, big power. Waking up your wealth for heart-centered business owners and entrepreneurs. In today's episode, we're going to speak about holding yourself through change. How to effectively hold yourself through change as part of the Money Manifestation Mastery process. What you want, what you desire, is absolutely beautiful. And yet to get what you want is going to require you to change. And there's a very interesting process that happens through this process of change. And in today's episode, we're going to be diving deep into this process, the obstacles, the challenges to look out for, and how to hold yourself through that change so you can keep effectively showing up, taking that consistent aligned action, and growing your wealth on purpose. Let's dive in. When you've become clear on what you want, your money vision, what you want and why you want it, that's a very powerful and important step. When you know what you want, you know where you're going, you've got your vision clear, you are miles ahead because you are clear on your money map, where you're going, what you want. But you also need to start the journey of bridging the gap between where you are now and where you want to be. And that is a great adventure, one of the greatest adventures you'll ever go on, going on a journey into the unknown. Part of you knows what you want, and maybe you can see it. Maybe you've got a really clear vision for what you want. But what you don't know yet is all the steps to bridge that gap. And this is why it's so important to follow that wealthy wisdom within and take that consistent aligned action, building the bridge between where you are now and where you want to be, one step at a time, one brick at a time. But there's a challenge that comes up with this process. And this is managing yourself, managing your mind, managing your emotions, managing the stories that you tell yourself, managing everything that comes up as you go on the journey of change, of growth and evolution. Part of you wants that change. Part of you longs for it. And that's all you want. But there's another part of you that is absolutely terrified and challenged by change. The neuroscience around this is very interesting, but essentially it's your survival brain trying to keep you safe, trying to keep you small, trying to keep you where you are. But you also have very well-established neural pathways around what is possible based on your lived experience, on the data and evidence that you've gathered in your life so far. Stepping out of what you know, your known, your comfort zone, even if it's not comfortable, is immensely confronting. And this can send off all sorts of warning signs in your brain saying, warning, warning, do not continue, do not move forward, danger, danger. So what happens when you start to or want to take that aligned action and start bridging that gap between where you are and where you want to be? There'll be a big kickback, big objections that come up that may be shouting and screaming at you. And this is all going on inside of yourself. So based on your past and based on how you are, how you navigate through change will be unique for you. But first, I'd like to ask you a question, because being on the front foot of this and being as conscious and aware of this is so empowering. And that is to pay attention to how you deal with change, how you navigate through change. Think about changes you've had to make in the past. How have you responded to change? You may love change. You may love new adventures, and that's wonderful. And there may be some things you're really comfortable experiencing in the unknown, for example. Maybe it's travel. Maybe it's studying something new. But there'll be another part of you that is absolutely not okay with changing into the areas that you want to change. Some people find change very, very difficult and get very, very stuck. Everyone's a little bit different. So what you want to do is have a little think about how you navigate through change and how you respond to change. Being on the front foot of this will be everything to be able to see and witness yourself as you start to try and take those steps moving forward into your wealthy life. So as you are starting to take steps moving forward or wanting to take steps moving forward, how you hold yourself through change is everything. Because as that survival part of your brain kicks off, it can show up in so many ways. One is emotions, having emotional reactions or being triggered emotionally by the changes that are here or the changes that you want to make. So my brain, for example, goes into anxiety and overwhelm. And those are the ways that my brain currently likes to keep me safe. In the past, it would be getting really exhausted or really drained, or maybe frustrated, fears of failure, so many things. I've had to overcome a lot in order to get to where I am now, but there is always a new level because we're always pushing up against the edges of what's possible with this path. So I'm always navigating my emotions and also my mind, right? The stories that we tell ourselves, what our mind is telling us about the changes we're about to make. So all sorts of stories can come up. And I've had many different versions of stories over the years. And what I found is as I take that aligned action, I often disprove those stories. But it's only through moving forward that I disprove the stories. Because in the moment, those stories, they feel like reality. They feel like truth. That doubting mind, that fearful mind, that anxious mind has stories that feel very real. And this is the challenge. So holding yourself through the emotions that come up and what your mind does through the changes, through the journey into the unknown. It's really, really important to be aware of it and to step into that wealthy witness, And also, change takes time sometimes. Some things may manifest or shift or change quickly, but a lot of things take time. And we want results yesterday, or we want results now. We have that fast food culture, that way of thinking that expects things to happen instantly. But when it comes to business, when it comes to wealth creation, when it comes to building your financial foundations and financial future, that is not a process to be rushed. This is about taking small, consistent steps day after day, and sometimes boring ones, not the most exciting. So learning to hold yourself through change and being patient with the process is everything. And yet that's the process that can feel the worst. It can feel terrible. Navigating through change, for me, sometimes feels like I'm dying. It's the death of the old in order to be birthed into the new. And I've just learned to hold that process and hold myself in that process, which is something that I do each and every day because I'm always pushing up against those edges and stepping into the new. But if you're new to this work, you may not know this. And so this episode is designed to help put a spotlight on what may be going on for you. The challenge as well is that well-meaning friends and family will also be reinforcing some of the stories or the feelings that are coming up around these changes. So it can feel impossible sometimes or completely overwhelming. And it's very natural to then just want to shut it all down. So this is where the money manifestation mastery methodology comes in. the daily practice, the steps I've been sharing with you in this podcast, they're essential to keep moving forward, to stay focused on your vision, to know where you're going, and also to face everything in the way of that truly is mastery level. The ability and the willingness to keep showing up no matter what, through challenges, through wins, through failure, through setback, through obstacles, which will show up in your path each and every day. Some days will be smoother, some days will be harder, but it's not going to be a straight line, a straight path. What I've learned is actually it would be really boring if it was. That part of us likes the challenge because part of us wants to grow, wants to evolve, wants to explore, wants to uncover, wants to discover. But we also don't like pain. We also don't like challenges, and we want to avoid that and stay in our comfort zone, seeking pleasure, that short-term gain, which can create long-term pain. So money manifestation mastery is also about willing to experience short-term pain for long-term gain. Now, I'm not talking about unnecessary pain. I'm talking about the pain of change, the discomfort that we experience when we're entering the unknown. So you have to manage your mind, you have to manage your emotions, hold those parts of yourself, calm them down so that you don't lead from those places. Because that part, like I said, is going to be shouting and screaming at you, be very loud, where the wealthy wisdom within is often quiet, silent. And so we need to go deeper to find that part of you. And part of bridging the gap between where you are now and where you want to be may be about learning new skills, doing something new, doing something you haven't done before, learning something new. And although that can be exciting and interesting, it can also be very stressful, especially as we get older. Learning new skills or developing new habits can feel really hard and really uncomfortable. And yet, in order to grow, in order to change, there are going to be some things you need to unlearn, as in stop doing, which can be uncomfortable, and some things you need to start doing that you may have never done before, that you don't know how to do, and that is also very uncomfortable. And it's very natural to want to avoid or get distracted or frustrated or want to give up when we're trying something new. So holding yourself through change around learning a new skill, learning something new is incredibly important. It is going to be stressful. It's going to feel difficult. But again, if you know where you're going, what you want, and why you want it, you'll be willing to show up and do the hard things now in order to create that desired outcome. Mostly, you're managing your mind. You're managing your emotions. You're managing your beliefs, your perceptions, your point of view, the stories you're telling yourself, your nervous system, the emotions that rise as you're stepping into the unknown. So this truly is mastery level. Having a daily practice to reflect, to check in, to check yourself is essential. And this work that I facilitate is all about learning to hold those parts that go into lack and scarcity, fear, not enough, doubt, confusion, etc., etc., and hold a space to connect to that wealthy wisdom within, that deeper, richer, wiser part of you. That needs space to connect. And so as you're holding the part of you that's reacting against, contracting against, or trying to fight you when it comes to making change, you also want to connect to that wealthy wisdom within so you can lead from your wealth. It takes time to learn a new skill. It takes time to adapt to change. Please be kind and patient with yourself as you navigate new terrain. And start to get curious. Get curious about yourself through change, because the more you're aware of yourself through change, how you navigate change, how you respond to change, how you react to change, the more empowered you'll be, because you want to start really witnessing how you react and what you do when you're facing the fear of the unknown. And then remember to hold that part of you. Be aware of it, but hold it, manage that part of you, and make a choice to drop in deeper to that wealthy wisdom within, that inner guidance that is trying to guide you into a deeper, richer place and space within and without. With the Money Manifestation Mastery methodology and process, we do inner work. We do the inner work to create outer change. And every day, showing up to that aligned action to take that consistent, uncomfortable, sometimes boring, sometimes challenging action steps, bridging that gap between where you are now and where you want to be. Please know that any challenges or obstacles you are facing, experiencing are completely normal. How you hold yourself through that, how you hold yourself with that is everything. There will be a lot of failure. This is not about being perfect, but it's about picking yourself up, getting yourself back on the surfboard when you fall off, when you get knocked down by the waves of life. So get back in the game and make that choice to step into the ring day in, day out. So start to become aware of what happens when you're in fear, the fear of the unknown, how that part of you speaks, how that part of you reacts, and how the wealthy wisdom within speaks and leads. And what you want to do is keep coming back into connection with that empowered, powerful, connected, deeply wise, wealthy wisdom within. And make the choice every day to come back into connection with that part of you, to lead from your wealth. And you will be able to take that aligned action, start building that bridge between where you are now and where you want to be, one steady, consistent step at a time. Thank you for joining us for today's conversation, How to Hold Yourself Through Change. I hope you've received value from this conversation. I want to normalize this process for you so you don't go into being hard on yourself, giving yourself a hard time when things are challenging. And hopefully to empower you and inspire you to keep going deeper into that rich, wealthy wisdom within so you can consciously create, get into the driver's seat of your life and start building that bridge, creating the life, the business, the finances that you truly desire. So if you would like any more support with this, if you want to be held through change, very well supported to calm down the mind, balance the emotions, regulate your nervous system, get back in the ring, back in the game, connect to that wealthy wisdom within, that heart, body, soul aligned wealth, and start consciously creating your life, your business, your finances on purpose, then I'd love to invite you to my upcoming event, the Living Abundance Wealth Retreat. This is a free online event for big-hearted entrepreneurs, business owners, and professionals ready to step in to the next level of your business, of your finances, of your life, guided by that heart, soul, and body wisdom. So visit my website, larawaldman.com, book your free ticket, and I look forward to diving even deeper together very soon. And if you've been getting value from this podcast, I'd really appreciate it if you could take a moment to subscribe, follow, and leave a review. And please share this podcast with anyone that you feel would get value from this content. It will help to spread the word and support other people in this beautiful world of wealth. See you again next time.